Rise up, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, kings and queens, friends, frenemies, and you agents. This is Brother Marley. This is the Gambia One channel. We're in Jaden's right now. You can't tell, it's just a clear background. So you have to take my word for it, all right? Okay. There's my t-shirt. So at least I'm wearing a Gambian t-shirt. This is for the president who took over in 2016. So this is me in a Gambian t-shirt somewhere in the world. Listen, I had to talk about what happened over in New York a few days ago, in Buffalo, New York, because I couldn't stay silent about it. I just didn't feel right about staying silent about it. They are my distant cousins, my friends and family, people I've never met before, obviously, but when one of us suffers, all of us suffer. So I wanted to take time out to speak about what happened over in New York, Buffalo, New York. I don't know the area. I lived in New York for a couple of years, but never went up to Buffalo. What I will say is this. This Peyton Gundren, or whatever his name is, Peyton something, when he decided to go and make that move, what he first did was go online and tell his people that his plan is to kill a bunch of innocent black people. No one said anything. He had a step-by-step guide as to what he was going to do. He had an itinerary of what he was going to do. No one said anything. Everyone kept quiet. Everyone is in on it. Now the thing is, the legacy media, the mainstream media are going to say that he's a lone wolf, he's working on his own, no one else is involved. When in actual fact, there are a bunch of people involved. Just like that father, son, and cousin, or whoever, those rednecks who were chasing after that brother who was jogging and shot him, and then shared the video of what they were doing around their friends, their people in the neighborhood. No one said a word. Everyone kept quiet. But this, going back to Peyton, this man, he wore tactical clothing. He was dressed for the occasion, I guess. He had an AR-15, just like Kyle Rittenhouse, who was also, I guess he couldn't afford the whole tactical outfit. He had a vest on, but he did have the AR-15. Now, what was funny about Kyle was that he said that he was going there in order to administer first aid, to protect a building, and he was asking people if they needed any first aid. This dude is carrying a semi-automatic weapon, telling people, can I help you with any first aid? You're clearly not dressed or equipped to provide first aid for anybody. So who are you trying to kid here? Just like Killer Kyle, Peyton was dressed for the occasion, and he had his AR-15 as well. He had the word written on the gun as well, so we knew for sure who his targets were. Now, in his 180-page manifesto that he wrote and shared among his people online, who didn't say a word, he said that the reason why he was going to go ahead and do this multiple shooting was because of for a few reasons. The typical stuff you see in these racist online chat rooms. How black people kill more white people than white people kill white people. Some nonsense, some foolishness that they've made up. That every white household pays $77,000 because of the things that black people do. They don't realize that black people are paying those taxes as well. Black people pay taxes, you know, in America, you know that. But no one seems to bear that, nobody seems to bear that in mind. Also, the negative birth rate that the European Americans are experiencing versus the positive birth rate that African Americans are experiencing. So he wanted to do something about it. He wanted to wage his Rahowa right there in Buffalo, New York. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rahowa is the term that is used in these racist chat rooms for racial holy war. It's a jihad, basically. He was rated his jihad on those black people in Buffalo, New York. So people knew, I can't say how many people because the FBI or whoever, whichever lettered, anagrammed government agency has scraped all his internet stuff off the web, so we can't see how many people was watching him. But he was live streaming what he did, and he posted that 180-page manifesto for somebody to read. Now, if you're a thinking person and you want to deal with this negative birth rate, first thing you do as a young white man is find a bunch of young white women and impregnate all of them, and then you can do your part to improve that. You don't do that. The other thing is to go after the biggest black bucks, the biggest black men you can find, and kill them, because you know that those brothers are the ones who are probably causing the most of the, because those brothers are one that is causing the positive birth rates in the black community. He didn't do that either. He went for a bunch of elderly black women and an elderly black man as well. Just like Dylan Roof did. Dylan Roof as well, remember in that church? He killed a bunch of elderly black people. He had his reasons for wanting to shoot up a bunch of black people. Just like the other two. You go to a place, you get yourself tooled up, you get your AR-15, you go to a place where you know black people will be. Dylan Roof picked a church, a black church. Killer Kyle picked a Black Lives Matter protest. Peyton picked a black area in Buffalo, New York to wage their Rahowa on. And these people who haven't got an ounce of backbone between them went for the weakest, the oldest, the most innocent black people they could find, whether they're doing prayer meetings in church or they're out on a Saturday night getting their groceries as an elderly woman or an elderly man. That's who they chose to target. Killer Kyle went after black people. He only met up with a bunch of white people who were there, who were there protesting the need for the Black Lives Mattering, and he took his vengeance out on them. Sure. However, that was what kept him out of jail. You see, what's going to happen with Peyton? They'll give it some time for the dust to settle, and then there will be media posts and so on and so forth to judge the public response to him getting out early. How do I know that? Well, Daniel Holtzclaw, remember him? He was the police officer who went around and a gang of black women, I think it was 18 or 19 counts of, and in the second degree. I don't know how you do that in the second degree, but somehow these judges and so on and so forth in America figured it out. That's what they did to him. Sorry, that's what he did to those black women. And so he went to jail for a very long time, over 200 years they sentenced him to. But now you put Daniel Holtzclaw in the Google search, Google will give you a number of articles where they're speaking about forgiving, forgetting, is he so bad, was it so wrong, that kind of stuff. So my heart goes out to those people who met their untimely death at the hands of this racist, spineless bastard. My heart goes out to those people. Even if this government, this American government, doesn't see fit to give you reparations for the hundreds and hundreds of years of slavery, unpaid work, the 100-odd years of Jim Crow and all the rest of it. At least for this, at least for the stuff that you've had to deal with, from Killer Kyle to Killer Cops. Black Americans have had it worse than I've seen anywhere else on the planet. So my invitation, obviously, go away, fly, is to say, look, you've been over there in America for way too long. Oh, there's a power cut. You've been over there in America for way too long. You should come over here. Come over to Africa. Even if you don't come to Gambia, come to Tanzania, come to Rwanda, come to Ghana, come to Nigeria, come to Sierra Leone, come to the other 50-odd countries on the African continent. One of these ones will suit you. One of these countries will suit you. I don't know whether it will be the Congo or whether it will be South Africa. I don't know where, but the work you've done over there in America, you've built that place up, or your ancestors built that place up to the point where it is an amazing country. It's been completely ruined by the ones who want to run it like it's a modern day prison. But if it wasn't for the free labor that your ancestors gave to that country wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't be great at all. It would be terrible. So my invitation is for you to stop looking for things to suddenly get better, for people to suddenly get a conscience, for them to suddenly start recognizing you for what you have done, rather than just making up spurious numbers about all the things that you've done that deserves them running a racial war against you. Come over to motherland, come over to Africa, come to Gambia even. This country is so small that the income of African Americans dwarfs the GDP of this whole country. So if you were to come over here, I'm just spitballing here, all right? So please, check what I'm saying for yourself. Do your own research. But if you were to come over here, you would make such a massive difference. Just a quick edit, because I realized in watching this back, I didn't actually give examples of what you could do. So let me give you some examples. If, for example, you are like a on-the-road HGV driver, owner operating, your own rig, and you could do long distance driving, then come over, because what you do is needed here. People do have, obviously we have trucks over here, people are doing that, but they're using old stock, old trucks. They're using stuff that, you know, just breaks down too often, you know, just doesn't have the equipment, the ability to be able to safely transport goods across from Senegal to here, or from here to Guinea-Bissau and so on. You people are needed over here. If you are a builder, electrician, plumber, stud wall work, anything in building, you are needed over here. If you can cook some chicken and mac and cheese, you are needed over here. I don't mean someone who's got a restaurant, I mean if you could cook. That's it. If you could do that, you're needed over here. Anything in between, all right? If I was being very honest, unless it is something to do with like, you know, working as a government employee, what you do is needed over here. Right? If you're in the private sector and you're up to something, then give it a look, give it a try. See whether you can see yourself over here. All right, back to the regular video. The things that you'll be able to do, not only for this, like, forget this country, let's talk about you. Let's talk about what's good, what's in it for you right now. If you have a job over there and you're working, you know, you're 9 to 6 every day of the week, and then you've got enough money to pay your taxes, pay your rent, pay your bills, and then you've got enough to go back to work, you know, do a little bit more, maybe pay your children, train a bill or whatever. Come over here to Africa. With the resources that you have now, you'll be able to set up a small business, something small like this, and be your own boss. And not only be your own boss in a country that is, you know, that's got nothing going for it. In a country that has recently found oil, that has an influx of people coming into the country from all over the world, has local people who are striving to be able to push themselves up the social ladder. You could have a foothold here. That would ensure that not only will you have income for yourself here, but also for your family that you leave back in America. So consider that as a way forward. If your ancestors could do what they done under the chains and the whip, imagine what you could do here without any racist cops or racist killers or whatever else you have to deal with that I don't know about. Imagine what you could do without that. All right, so that's the end of my invitation. Again, my heart goes out, prayers go out to those people who have left this earth prematurely, to the family of those people, those victims. My heart goes out to you as well. This is your brother Marley, humbly saying have a good day. Take care. Bye now.